My wife and my friend helping us pick some partridge berries because we're going to make some jelly. Remember that little vine that creeps all over them red berries with the two eyes? Okay, you see them two little divots there on the berry? We're going to pick a pile of these and fill it up and bring them back and make some jelly. Okay, so this time around we're going to make some partridgeberry jelly. And what we're going to do is just take these berries and clean them out. You can see we got a lot of stuff in there. I had some pine needles in there with them. We're just cleaning them out in here. You just put a strainer and some water and they float nicely to the top. You just kind of rub them around, get all the bad berries out of there, and this will clean them off real well. Once this comes to a boil, your jars are sterilized, so just pull them out of there. You don't want to do your lids too long because you'll end up ruining the seal. Okay, so you just pull them out, put them on a paper towel, and you can also sterilize jars in the oven. That's another way to do it too. So we're going to go ahead and clean these berries off, and then we'll get to the next step after that. Okay, now we got our jars all cleaned off and we got our berries all cleaned off, so we're going to put this and make an infusion. You want to cover it so it keeps all them oils in there. And we're going to make an infusion here by boiling this for 20 minutes. Okay, so you boil for 20 minutes and then we're going to strain it off using a strainer here, a little metal strainer. And if you wanted to make jam out of this, you could, but we're going to make this very similarly to the beautyberry jelly we made in Florida. Now typically with your berries you want about 1 quart of berries, and if you don't have that much, just estimate what you have and make it from there. Now when it comes to sugar, most recipes when you're making 1 quart of berries will call for about 4 cups of sugar. I don't use that much. I use an actual natural sugar. I grind crystals up in the coffee maker and it's real sweet, so I don't typically use that much. I don't feel like I need 4 cups of sugar in my jelly. So you can use whatever you feel necessary, but this is from my experience, this is what I like. It's just a little bit less. I use about 2 cups. And it just depends on what kind of berries you're using as well. Alright, now we're going to take and we're going to strain our infusion off. See, it's that nice pink color. Okay, we're going to let all that run into there. Okay, and when we're done with this, we're going to put it back in here and put it back, clean this out, put it back in our pan here. Okay, now we're going to add our sugar and our pectin. Okay, so we'll go ahead and add all this in there. Come over to our pectin, put the whole pouch in. Okay, so we're going to let this get to another boil here. We added our Sure-Gel, our fruit pectin, and we added our sugar. And then we're going to let it get to a boil, typically around 2 minutes. Sometimes you can go a little more than that, but we're going to put a cold plate in the freezer, and you take a little drop on that cold plate, and if it doesn't seem like it's hardening up quite right, let it sit a little longer. And I want to point something out too. If this doesn't ever get to the right consistency after you jar it, okay, you put it in the jar, you put it in the fridge, and it's still kind of liquidy, don't throw it away. Just put it back in here and reboil it. That's not going to hurt anything. Just make sure your jars are sterilized. You have to do all that all over again. Okay, so I had this little dish for sauces here sitting in the freezer. What you do is you just take a little bit of this after it's sat on there for a couple minutes, drop it in the dish. Alright, give it a couple seconds, let it sit. If it doesn't look real jelly after a few minutes, then you might want to let it sit in there a little bit longer. Okay, you look in here, you see how it's starting to thicken up now? That's your fruit pectin doing that. Okay, you just want to boil it a little bit, get this stuff to harden up. You can see it's still kind of runny, so I want to let that sit in there a little bit longer until this turns into a jelly consistency. Okay, after you let this sit and boil for a moment, then you just want to take your spoon. See this white film right here? You just want to scoop all that out of there. Okay, that's what it looks like. It's just kind of a real foamy texture. Just scoop that out. You want it to look like that dark clear liquid there. This you don't want. And our last step is simply just pouring them into the jars. And that's it.